October is National Book Month, and who better than Chuck and Dee from Village Books in Fairhaven to come in and talk to us about that? Well, explain this.
Well, October is the month in which they announce the shortlist for the National Book Award, which is a major literary award that will be given in November. But the shortlist is going to be announced next week by Pat Conroy, and it will be announced. They always search for a wonderful venue, and it will be at the Flannery O'Connor Childhood Home. And so the shortlist will come out. These are awards that are given for fiction, nonfiction, poetry, and young adult literature. So
did you bring some past winners
We
here?
brought some past winners. So last year's winner was Let the Great World Spin by Colum McCann. And this is a book that our book group read just recently, and we all really loved it. It's great for a book group, but this was the winner last year, and this happens to be fiction.
Oh, okay.
But the winner for nonfiction was Tim Egan's Worst Hard Time. And Worst Hard Time is a book about the Dust Bowl. And, you know, we read Grapes of Wrath, probably, which tells about people who escaped the Dust Bowl. But this is really the people who endured it and lived through it. And it's amazing what the people went through. And it's also a cautionary tale about what can happen when we interfere with Mother Nature.
A classic disaster tale by the New York Times. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so that was the previous year? Or that was, it was just
I think that was the nonfiction winner for last year
as
well.
Okay, Chuck, do you want to tell us about a couple of these?
The Echo Maker by Richard Powers was a 2006 winner in fiction. This is an interesting story. It's a young man in Nebraska, has a near-fatal car crash. His sister agrees to come out and take care of him. Excuse me. As he's recovering, he recognizes his sister and all of her characteristics, but believes it's an imposter. And he is then diagnosed with a very unusual rare syndrome, and there's lots of twists that happen in the book after that, but this was the 2006 winner. One of the people, Joan at the store, is a big fan of Richard Powers, loved this book.
So that would be under her staff
Yes,
picks,
it would be under her staff pick for sure.
And finally another winner here.
This was the 2008 winner. This is Peter Matheson's book, Shadow Country. Peter Matheson is as well known for nature books as he is for fiction. This is actually a very unusual book in that Peter Matheson had written a huge manuscript that he wanted to be a book, and the publishers, of course, blanched at the notion of publishing a 1,500-page book.
Yeah.
And he broke it down into 3 books, which had never been his real intent. He wanted to do it one book. So those 3 books were published as a trilogy. He was never really satisfied with what had happened with that and decided to take a year, deconstruct those books and put them back together into a book, one single novel called Shadow Country. So this is a really interesting sort of process. It's a book that in some ways existed before but didn't exist before because he's recreated it. So, and it was the winner in 2008 for fiction.
Great. Well, will you have a display in the store of all the award?
We will.
Or the nominees?
The nominees, the shortlist as they call it, in October, and then the winners in November.
Oh, and we will be waiting to see who wins. Yes. Thanks so much, Chuck and Dee from Village Books in Fairhaven. And remember, you can always experience more at kvos.com.